Matrix Success International, the #1 lifestyle enhancement company in the world.
Hello and welcome. I'm Brian Dalmaso, and I'm excited to be bringing you the third day of the Matrix Self-Confidence Formula. And today we're going to be taking a deep dive into self-image. And this is going to directly correlate with understanding self-confidence, because your self-image obviously is very synonymous with self-confidence. If you, if you have fear, if you lack um, uh, a powerful image, I guess you would say, if you don't see yourself in a big light, these are all going to be things that we can change. And it's all part of what we called on day one as the paradigm. Let's take a deep dive. And I want to ask you guys kind of a loaded question. Do you think it would help you to know how the world's most confident people think, act, and operate? Right? Spirit, intellect, and body. Do you think that would be valuable? Because what you're going to see here is really the crux of everything we teach in the Matrix. At least it's a snapshot of what the mind-body connection looks like. So when you're talking about changing your mindset or building a new self-image, if you don't have a clear image of what you're trying to change, how would you change it? So back in 1932, Dr. Thurman Fleet drew what we call the mind map. Bob used to call it the stick man, but I call it the mind map because it shows that, loosely speaking, we have a conscious mind, a subconscious mind, and a body. Now, there's many parts to the mind, and the mind is actually undefinable. It's consciousness, it's movement, it's energy and motion. It's not your brain, right? A lot of people think the organ of the brain is your mind, and it's not. Your brain is an electronic switching station, right? Your heart is a pump. These are organs. Your mind is consciousness. So this helps to get a really good picture of what the mind looks like. So upper half conscious, lower half subconscious, and the body. And when we're building new mental programs or beliefs, right, confidence, we must get the program in the subconscious mind. It's not enough to consciously float around. I'm confident, right? It doesn't work. I'm wealthy. You have to build a new mental program. And we talked on day one that when you were born, you were programmed by ignorant people over time. It's not your fault if you lack confidence, right? That's not your fault at all. When you go through this week, you're going to become aware, and it will be your choice to change it from here on in. So let's go through how most of the world is programmed. We're born in ignorance, right? We have ignorant parents, ignorant school systems, and ignorance just means not knowing. It's the opposite of wisdom. It's not a bad term. It just means not knowing. I'm largely ignorant about a lot of things, but when it comes to the science of wealth building, the mind-body connection, right? What mindset is and performance, I am an expert. And that's what we're teaching and working on here. So we're born in ignorance, and we have worry and doubt and negative thinking given to us by other people and experiences over time. Well, that energy in the conscious mind has to suppress into the subconscious mind as the emotion of fear. So think about the subconscious mind as the place where all your emotions are. And the conscious minds are where we have fleeting thoughts, and we think about things, and sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell, right? Things come in and we start to process. But when something gets into the subconscious mind, it starts to trigger emotions, and those emotions have to express as the physical form of anxiety. So if any of you here watching have anxiety, this is why. It comes from worry and doubt and negative thinking. And if you can cut it off here, you'll never get to the anxiety part. Now, I don't know anybody that doesn't experience any or like zero anxiety. I still have little bits of it, but I cut it right off because I know what it is. And I do things to change, a paradigm shift, and we can teach you exactly how to do that. But anxiety, if held on long enough, it produces procrastination. It causes the body to not move, and procrastination leads to depression. If you're not creating, it's depressing, right? This is why people that have a factory job day after day after day after the day, at least while they're at work, they don't feel like they're creating, and they have to seek outside of work for expression and for joy and happiness, right? But wouldn't you love to have a job that you loved? I mean, I love what I do. Absolutely love it, right? So if we're not doing something that we love, it can usually lead to depression over time, which leads to dis-ease. All right, and the purpose of this week is to give you knowledge, right? Knowledge is the polar opposite of ignorance, and it comes from study and understanding, which is what you're doing this week. Positive thinking. It leads to the frequency of faith. Faith is not just a religious term. It is the polar opposite of fear. These are frequencies. You can't be in faith and fear at the same time. It's trying to look at like two sides of a coin. You're either in faith or in fear at any one given time about a whole bunch of different subjects. So if you lack confidence, what you're really saying is you lack faith in yourself, which is a frequency of mind, and we can change that. So faith leads to well-being and calmness. It leads to acceleration, an excited person, right? Confidence, which leads to a lot of action, and action leads to a body that's at ease. All right, so we're going over a very complex concept here that gives you an idea of how you were born and what you're probably programmed like, just like I was, right? My parents were divorced when I was 2 years old, and we're going to tell that story a little later. But I didn't grow up with a lot of confidence, truth be told. It wasn't until like senior year in high school, junior year, senior year in high school, I had some paradigm shifts and some things that I started to build some confidence. But that's a sad tragedy, right? And some people never build confidence. Why not from day one? Like if we were educating the parents and educating the school systems, wouldn't we build confidence and a healthy self-image and all of these things? So again, this is the mind map, and this is giving us kind of the, well, it shows the mind-body connection, right? And we're going to change the subconscious mind through new mental programs. So I want you to take a look at this picture. Cute little baby. This is how we all come into the world. And I want you to understand that this is you right now. Even if you're a very confident person, there's always more. As a matter of fact, you probably wouldn't be here if you had a high level of confidence, because anybody that is watching this week, you came here because you might have some challenges in confidence, and that's okay. That's the whole point. But this is just you at your current level of confidence, and it's not your fault, and it's not good, and it's not bad. It just is. I want you to think about that. It just is. There's no judgment here. I also want you to think about you when you were a brand new baby, learning how to get dressed. And I promise I'm going to connect the dots here. Learning how to get dressed. Because when you were born, this was impossible, right? You couldn't even move your arms and legs. You couldn't speak. You didn't even know what clothes are. You're more likely to, crap your diaper and like put the clothes in your mouth than anything. But when we're a brand new baby, we have no ability to reject information. And if your parents were putting their hand on your chest and they were saying, you can be and do and have anything you want, you were bound by nothing. And if they were praying into you every night, you would have a strong self-confidence right in grade school. But I want you to understand, you've learned to do the impossible, right? But now when you're watching this video, we have a paradigm, we have a belief system on what's possible. Oh, Bob can do that, or Brian can do that, or Elon Musk can do that, but I can't do that. Well, why not? Right? You are the star of your own movie. And this week, we're going to build the paradigm of confidence. All right. So in order to illustrate this point, I want to teach you about levels of awareness, right? And this is, you'll hear me say that it's not good or it's not bad. It just is. People get confused by that. It's like, what do you mean it's not good or it's not bad? Well, the easiest way to explain this, see, it's hard to explain levels of confidence, but I can explain levels of income. And it's the same for confidence. So $50,000 is not a lot or a little, it just is. 50K a year, right? 100K a year, it's just another level of awareness. So somebody earning 100K a year is at high level of awareness, and somebody earning 50K a year, right? And it keeps going, 250, right? These are all places. This is on the table for anyone, right? The information's here for everybody to earn exactly what they want to earn. And we may go through ups and downs, and we may have economic things, but by and large, you will reach a point where you're earning exactly what you're aware of, right? $500,000, $1 million a year, $5 million a year, $5 million a month. These are just frequencies of thought. These are levels of awareness. And when I tell you that there's no such thing as big or small, I'm going to illustrate it here. So it's the same with confidence, though. I'm confident. Well, how confident? But we can't measure confidence, right? But it's the same thing when you're building new levels of awareness over time. And when you study in your mind, you take spiritual action, you take physical action, over time, you will raise your level of awareness to eventually hit your goals, whatever that is, physical, financial, confidence, relationship. And when you get there, what you're going to realize is that you could have set something here. Right? When I say that there's no such thing as big or small, the earth itself is not big or small until you compare it to a golf ball, right? Something relatively speaking small, or to the entire universe. right? What we're talking about here is the law of relativity. So your confidence is hard to measure, right? It's hard to measure. But when you relate it to something like income, we can show you how to raise your level of awareness over time and build your confidence. All right, so I want you to take a look at this picture here. I found this on the internet, and this to me looks like somebody that's just confused, chaos, probably not a high level of confidence. A lot of you may be running around like this and not even know it. You're worried about income, you're worried about the bills, you're worried about the kids, worried about COVID, you're just worried, right? And this is an image I found to kind of illustrate what fear looks like. Remember I told you fear is an emotion. It's a frequency that we express in experience. It's nothing more. It's an illusion at best, by the way. You can be in fear and then understand how to master your mind using the tools we teach and flip to the frequency of faith and raise your vibration. And the same things could be going on around you, right? This is what doubt looks like. Really think about this. Oh, I don't know if I can do it. I don't want to go for that job. I don't want to ask the girl out. I don't want to go to the gym. And this is what worrying looks like. Write this one down, guys. If you get nothing else out of this whole week, worrying is praying for what you don't want. Worrying is praying for what you don't want. If you're worrying most of the day, you're putting mental thought energy out. You're praying to God to call in more things to worry about, right? And if you're in the quantum mechanics side of it, you're putting thought energy out into the quantum field to attract the things to keep you worrying. So we want to stop worrying. And I put this picture together here to illustrate only one thing. I haven't met any of these people yet. I'll meet Steve Jobs at some point in the afterlife. But I do know one thing about them. This is what a frequency of faith and confidence looks like, right? These people don't wake up every morning wondering what you and I are thinking. And they probably can't explain this to you, right? They're unconsciously competent. They were born a certain way, 1 in a million. But for everybody else, we in the Matrix can teach you how to change your paradigms, your belief system, the mental programs that are causing all this fear, doubt, and worry and lack of confidence. All right, so I wanted to illustrate there, and there's many, many times in history where people were demonstrating confidence, but they didn't know how it was going to work. The Wright brothers did not know how they were going to fly. They just made a decision they were going to, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger, I mean, you want to talk about confidence? Like when he was in Austria as a bodybuilder, like, you're out of your mind. You'll never be successful at that. That's over in Hollywood. That's in LA. Became the best bodybuilder in the world, right? And then when he came to the States, he wanted to become an actor. And they're like, you're out of your mind with that thick accent. There's no way you can do that. But Arnold had an inner confidence. The reason I'm using him is because he possesses something that almost nobody has, but he can't teach you how to develop the confidence, not at the root level. He may be able to tell you to do certain things, but he can't show you how to install the programs called I Am Confident. And they did the same thing when he became the governor, right? The governor of California. They said, you're out of your mind. There's no way you'll ever be a politician. And he just keeps proving people over and over and over again, right? Think about Mark Zuckerberg. Probably in, I've never met him, but probably in college, he lacked confidence with women, but he had a high confidence with his intellect and his mind and what he could produce, right? So he learned to build that over time, but he can't teach you how to do it. That's what we do in the Matrix. And I use Colonel Sanders, kind of a funny picture here, because it doesn't matter how old you are. Colonel Sanders was suicidal and broke and very desperate by age like 65, hadn't accomplished much, is married and divorced and just not in a good place, 65 years of his life. But he had this chicken recipe, right? And he had a paradigm shift. And by age 69, he started building the Kentucky Fried Chicken franchises, found some partners and attracted all the people and built the confidence. By the time he passed, he had over an $8 billion global empire. So it doesn't matter who you are, where you're at, what you're doing. I don't care what your confidence is now. I don't care what your income is now. None of that matters. You need to let all that baggage go and think, why not you? Why not me? Why not now? And if you guys are willing to take action, you're willing to put this stuff in play, we're going to keep going this week. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about overcoming fear and procrastination, which we dived a little bit in today. And as always, if you want to book a strategy session to go over your unique situation, we can take a much, much, much deeper dive. You can work with one of my success advisors, or I might even pick up the call myself, depending, and we can talk about your unique situation and work on this together. All right, guys, so we'll see you tomorrow. Be well, God bless, and I look forward to the next day of our 5-day confidence formula.
Subscribe for more inspiring content. Embark on your journey to success with us and book a call below with Matrix Success International to unlock your potential.